I feel like Mr. Boom. I don't want your kitty, I'm just tryna play with Moon. We could hit the city, baby, what you tryna do? Catch me out in Quirksville, big shout out to Doom. I'm looking at the floor price, hey Brody, where the...
Hey guys, today it's a new episode of the Room of Eljaboom. Troy, as you know, it's something not organized, means there is no question to be pre-listed by the speaker and myself where we say, okay, ask this, ask that. No, which is going to be genuine to show what is the project and to show if the team presenting the project, do you know what they're saying, or the same as many other projects that they just have something written on a paper and they just say blah, blah, blah. And it's also for you to good to see if I know every industry that at least I try to learn. So also, you know, if I'm quality or I'm just a clown on garbage. Today it's a project, and this project is in the most hyped items in 2024 and I think beyond. It's for real world assets, and imagine mixing the other hype that is also gonna stay, which is AI. So imagine adding real world assets with AI, and on top of that you have the incubation or a part of the ecosystem of one of the biggest AI projects in Web3. Let's not talk too much. Hello, Nate.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Now I want to know, before we jump, what is the project, what is everything, who's Nate?
So my name is Nejc Zinder. I'm a chief quant.
See, now it's not Nate, it's longer, I told you.
Oh, that's the surname.
Okay, Nate.
Yeah, Zinder.
Zinder.
Yeah. So, I'm a chief quant at Cogito Protocol. Now it's Cogito Finance. We rebranded. And
you're the co-founder.
Yeah, I was a co-founder there. I have a quantitative background, so I studied financial mathematics and quant, and quantitative finance, and then I was first working at some e-commerce companies, Lando, and then a few other projects, and I was also doing some research stuff with Dr. Ben Goetzo at the time.
Dr. Ben from SingularityNet.
Yeah. So.
You're very fast. You have to be a bit. People are gonna get you're speaking very fast.
Okay.
So even because like Ben, people don't know like who's Ben. Now we need to understand Ben. So that's why I'm clarifying for them.
Dr. Ben Goetzo is the founder of SingularityNet.
Yes.
Back then, SingularityNet did not exist yet. At the time when
so you were back in before they even start. So you're one of the OGs.
2017.
Amazing.
I was there actually working on some financial model, just predicting the riskiness of the AGI. Back then it was AGI token. Now it's AGIX, and now it's going to rebrand to ASI. So artificial super intelligence. So that was before the ICO, and then we went through the ICO in December 2017, and then I had like many different roles. I was a lot of time in SingularityNet, but also at other projects. One of the main things that I did was like also doing the reputation system. But then also when Singularity DAO was created, I started there right from the start. So I was doing the financial modeling there.
So you started back in the days, but you jumped right away in Web3. I wanted to know. But anyways, I'm gonna come back. I want to know who you are. What did you study? Did you work in a Web2 field, or right away you went to crypto?
Oh no, my first job was actually in e-commerce.
But you studied mathematics.
Yeah, I was a data scientist there. So.
Okay. So you're taking your history. That's the best beauty part in my show.
Yeah.
That I want to show people there are people like you exist in Web3. Yeah. Not everyone is coming. And young kid, no school, and he's making just project and he's saying he's an entrepreneur. No, there are some people also, they studied, they've seen business, they suffered in Web2, they understand Web2. So they come, because when you come, you carry as well ethics, you carry knowledge, you carry wisdom, you carry so many things. So that's what we want to know before we jump to the Web3.
Yeah, absolutely. My story is that I was actually studying. I have a master's degree and everything. And after that, I
master also in mathematics.
Quantitative finance.
Okay.
Bachelor's in financial mathematics.
Okay.
So I was studying actually bachelor's in Slovenia and then master's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So that's like the first time I went to live abroad, and then I lived in Berlin, Germany, where there's like.
Which one you liked it most?
I would say I preferred Berlin, to be honest.
Oh.
Although I also really like Slovenia, but in a different way.
Okay. Slovenia is like your home, but if you want to grow, maybe you need
Yeah,
a bigger capital.
No, I mean, Berlin is very interesting. I think at the time when I was living there, it was maybe at the top, if I can put it that way. Like back then, Berlin was still becoming the city that everybody wanted to go in. Now I feel like the life there is, I mean, it's not bad or anything like that. I don't want to talk bad about it because it's still a great city. But back then, things were cheaper, and like people, the artists went there as like the new European capital of everything, and it was like a cool city. Now it's, you know, it's not bad, but it's I think a lot of that charm has gone away. So it is what it is. But yeah, it was a nice time there. I had like a great time. My German is still not perfect, but I know a little bit.
So I should tell you from the beginning, Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
So when you went to Germany, what did you work? As a Web2, right? You still were Web2 at that time.
No, I was just in an e-commerce company. So
As a Web2, and you were like e-commerce as marketing side.
So marketing intelligence. So trying to, they had like huge marketing budget, and we had to optimize that in different channels, because this was quite a big company. Back then it had 12,000 employees or something like that. So now I think it's even more. But they spent a lot of money on marketing, so we tried to optimize that, and just this kind of stuff. Like we looked at the numbers, how everything is performing, new strategies, just optimization.
And how many years you spent over there?
I think a bit less than 2 years.
Okay. How old are you, by the way, Nate?
I'm 32.
Oh, mashallah. You look younger, you look 28, that's why I'm like, okay.
Thanks. Like it's.
I'm almost 40, man, so. So
you also look younger, to be honest.
I'm eating Chinese, with the Chinese culture, we eat chicken feet.
Oh.
So it's full of collagen, makes you young. Maybe you have to add it to your diet.
Maybe I think my secret is more that I'm living a lot on the north, so I'm not getting that much sun.
That's true. I lived in the sun all my life, back in Saudi or here. So that time you finished, and then you start joining to Web3.
Yeah.
Okay, it was 2017.
Yeah.
When you start before Singularity Net, AGI, before it comes, and you were with Ben.
Yeah, I mean, with Ben...
Let's go here now. Continue from
with
here.
Ben, I first did like some kind of research project. It was analyzing some time series. Now, I would say if I would have to go into the area that was there was psychology. That's the closest to what I would call it. But yeah, it was mostly finding some causations between some event and how the brain waves were working, and that was where I first worked with him. And then the next one was financial model for Singularity Net. That one was never published, by the way. There was some regulatory issues, and they couldn't really publish it. I mean, they would have to get lawyer's opinion, and even then it's they weren't 100% sure that it would be okay
to pass.
Legally. To pass. So Singularity Net is not like a financial company, so they have to go. They didn't want to overextend their risk in that direction, to be honest.
Yes. But they focus then to what is AGI and AGIX, which is AI.
Yeah. So they focus on AI and AI marketplace. So they're trying to. They already have a AI marketplace. There are around 100 services there already. And those AI services, the core idea is basically, first of all, I would mention AGI, name of the token, comes artificial general intelligence. So when robots or like AI will be just as smart as humans, I think we are closer to that than we've ever been.
100%.
There's a lot of excitement now with LLMs, which were the next step. But back then, till
the last point when they start controlling us.
Absolutely. I mean, they're already trying to do this.
Yeah.
And the idea about Singularity Net was actually that if you have this decentralized service with all AI services, then you can make like a very complex AI that just connects to other service in the cloud and more. And you can actually decentralize decentralize this AI, which is the opposite of, for example, what happened in the movie Terminator, for example, where everything was centralized and then everything turned around it. And it's fiction. I'm not saying that, but
usually fiction happens at the end.
Well, I'm not going to say that. We can argue this way, but I also find it not that. I also don't think it's good that one big company or like few big companies hold all the power of development.
That's why there is ASI now.
To
compete.
Yeah, I mean it is to compete, but to be honest, if you look at the LLMs, it costs a lot of money to train them, and it's going to cost even more because now even to get the data, it's getting more expensive.
100%.
So you need
data and qualified team.
Yes,
to
of
train,
course.
To train the models. Yeah.
Absolutely, and then you need also servers that are very strong, and
that's why you need blockchain. I think ASI will play a big role in this game.
Right. So they basically merge together in big companies, so they're gonna stand a good chance. But to train this goes like in hundreds of millions really soon. I mean, at the beginning it was less, but now it's like to even get the data, it's getting really expensive. So and then you need everything else as well. So this favors the big companies actually. The development actually again favors the big companies again, and personally I love that the market would be very segregated, that there are like a lot of small companies, everybody innovating, but it just happens in capitalism, I think, or like in the system that we live in, that big companies are the ones who are
controlling everything.
Yeah, so sooner or later they get almost the full share. So
as much as you try to make Bitcoin to change things, yet as much as we try, they come. But at the end, let's hope for the future. Maybe it will be bright.
Yeah, I mean, blockchain definitely gave the options to the new players. So that's definitely the case.
A small market share.
Yes. I'm somewhat optimistic here. It's still like, I don't expect that very small players in the long run will, I mean, there is some place for them, but yeah, for the major things, I'm afraid that there will be slightly bigger ones, but I'm still hoping that it's not going to be like just some behemoths like, what is the alternative to Microsoft? You have Apple, like, the operating system.
See, my kind of opinion, if something in Web3, let's say just take my assumption, like ASI became big in Web3, yet not comparing, there are still big players in Web2 that they didn't jump inside Web3 yet. Sorry, they don't have AI companies yet, but they have so much money. So with money, you can buy the data, you can get the resources.
Absolutely.
So there are so many big players in Web2 with a lot of money.
Yes.
They didn't touch this area yet.
Yes.
And if they decided one day, in some countries that they are far from decentralized ones, if they decide to put cash flow like this, as long as you have the team, and I think there is a quality in ASI. That's my kind of opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also like the one who first enters the market, or like first few enters,
that's usually the game. But in the difference, maybe in Web3 it will be different. That's why there is also Cogito.
Yeah, I hope so.
What is Cogito?
Cogito is tokenizing real-world assets, and
so here you're co-founder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are tokenizing bonds, treasuries, stocks, and similar assets. We are also making our own, which will be AI driven, and like AI we are basically importing because we are part of SNet, Singularity Net ecosystem. Well, now it's becoming ASI.
Yes.
But yeah, these are our roots. I would mention that also the same founders as for Singularity Net are also our founders. For example, Dr. Ben Goetzel is like one of them.
So Dr. Ben and the Queen.
Janet.
I call her the Queen. Janet. Janet the Queen.
Yeah,
for you.
Of course. And of course, me and Cloris, who is our CEO.
And Cloris as well. She's a beast. Like the first time I had a call with Cloris, I went like, this is a diamond.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's sharp, strong.
Absolutely.
She knows exactly what, it's good to see two ladies in this project, and each one of them is like, I say, Cloris is like the tough and make decision. Janet is the inspiration,
Exactly.
the story behind the book. Exactly. And so again, Cogito's real world assets. adding into that AI. So basically the AI here will help you as, let's say, just correct me if I'm wrong, will help you as an investor to set the basket for me based, because it's an AI now, it's going to do for me the R&D's research of what's happening in the market, what is good, what is bad, etc. And based on my appetite, it will give me the right basket. Am I correct or wrong?
Right. And the thing why AI is very interesting for this is that AI can analyze vast amounts of data, much more than you have time to analyze. And it can also compare like different kind of portfolios that, for example, other people would come up with, and or like how every person behaves. So it can just look at the bigger amounts of data and it can analyze it. Now the processing power is becoming smaller and smaller issue because like the chips are getting stronger and stronger.
True.
So and in general, like AI is also getting smarter and smarter. Especially we have new developments, for example, with LLMs. There are just like new ways of how you can actually tackle those problems that before that were, they were trying to do them, but
it was impossible. It was just a filtering.
Yeah, it was filtering.
Yeah.
For example, if you were trying to filter through the text, I mean, there were ways that there was still sentiment analysis that existed before, but it wasn't on such level as it is right now, where
100%.
you could argue to some extent computer even understands text. I mean, we could argue how much it actually understands, but it predicts the next word, basically. That's the whole idea of LLM. And it does it much better than models before that. And it's, well, smarter, if I can call it that way, than other models. And you can do new things that before that you could try, but the models were just not as good.
True. But now, and of course, you have the technology. You guys have the know-how, and you just can untrain it. My question is here, which I always say: you are a real-world asset with an AI under Singularity Net ecosystem, which is ASI soon. You only went through stock, bonds, and
Treasuries, of course.
Treasuries. Now here, let me ask you a question. Many people in Web3, they're coming now with the new trend, RWA. And most of them, they don't even know what is it. That's why they go to the easiest thing, which they say, we have a diamond mine in Monaco. Or they can say, we can buy you real estate, blah, blah, blah. Which is, it sounds for the retailer, diamond in Monaco, let's go.
Yeah.
So, or real estate in whatever countries, blah, blah, blah. Why, now the question, why did you choose only this part, and why didn't you also tap in the others? Because I believe if you tapped in the diamond or whatever, at least I'm going to be sure it's not fake. You guys are real.
Absolutely. Well, there are multiple reasons. Number one, I would say it's regulators. So whatever you tap in, you have to first be fully compliant.
100%. If you want to stay for the long term.
Absolutely. And that compliance, of course, we set up everything that we are fully compliant with the way that we are. So we are registered in Cayman Islands, and we have a reputable broker, and so on. Cayman Islands are also very interesting because most of the financial institutions in UK are actually registered in Cayman Islands. And I'm talking about traditional institutions like hedge funds and similar. It's just designed for that, basically. It has like really good legal system set up for such activities in traditional finance. We did this for the assets that we are listing. We could, in theory, start with some other assets, but all of the assets have its problems. They might sound like very inviting, and maybe some of them are. I'm not saying that diamonds or real estate, it's gonna fall. No, I see the bull thesis in that, or the thesis of why you would succeed in this. But it's just a different business that we want to be in. For example, when you mentioned diamonds, right? If you're in diamonds, you also need to be compliant. Where are you going to store them? Who is going to store them? If you store them yourself, well, we did see a lot of crypto companies before that just ran away with the money. So you definitely need somebody to store
You need a secure, let's say, partner, for
Right.
example, where it can, like, most likely it's going to be a bank.
Most likely. So that's going to cost you quite some money, and you need to have like legal, compliance, that also like people who are investing in you, that they always have the access to actually those diamonds. Because if somehow you fail for some reason, you still want them to have the assets. But that's not the only thing, by the way. For
And the
example,
problem in the diamond, the asset is not really liquid.
right.
Yeah, and the appreciation is not there.
Well, yeah. Also, appreciation is questionable because rare metals actually historically didn't necessarily appreciate that much.
100%.
But that's not the only thing. It's also like when we talk about regulation in diamonds, for example, there has been just like a new sanction package from European Union on diamonds. So now, for example, you need to know where the diamonds are coming from, because if they're coming from Russia, you cannot really sell them in European Union. Anyway, like you do have to go with those details, and I'm not sure how what is the compliance here, because I'm not in this business.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to consider those things, that they're not the easiest one. You need to know where your diamonds are coming from, and you need to go through all of those certifications. You really need to go deep into this. So
100%. I mean, that's what I like about Cogito and its team, that they are offering things that is compliance, secured, real people in the industry, big names in the industry. So it is a place that people at least need to go and look at carefully before they just go hubble-bubble in the wild west of Web3, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So I want to ask you today, so you have the treasury and bond and stock. Let's speak more about it, and let's say speak about it from a person like me who want to come, let's say for an example, and deposit, right? Just give me a journey of each one of them, a small journey, like, from top view.
So you can actually deposit for us. Well, first of all, right now in the current form, but we are looking for ways to go around this. We have like two types of investors that can invest. So one is the primary market investors, and those are, let's say, accredited investors. Although accredited, it's more that only those that have like big investments, like for example,
And institutions.
Institutions usually. It can be also rich individual that does that, but it's
Family
100,000. It's $100,000. I mean, you can do that, but anyway.
The institutions is like, or the big investors is $100,000. Starts from $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have those, but then we also do allow for secondary markets, where we don't have those restrictions. But everybody who trades on secondary markets still needs to be KYC'd, because
See, that's also very important to be compliant.
Absolutely, and we're also not going to confirm everybody on KYC, because if we find out that you're under sanctions or you're a criminal, we cannot do this.
Exactly.
Tomorrow we go out of the business if we do this.
Of course, you're checking. So basically, you're checking the countries that where it's coming from, and you also do AML, anti-money laundering check, right?
Yeah. So we have to do this, but we do allow the transactions between them. So technically, you can trade with somebody else all those assets. And they're all, and as soon as somebody, like, maybe let's focus now on primary markets, because secondary markets, I guess it's quite clear, like you're just trading with people
100%,
underlying asset. On primary markets, once you deposit, you can deposit either in fiat or in crypto. So
so you have a gateway to fiat right away.
Yeah.
Okay, because your institutions most likely don't know crypto.
Yeah. We can do it both. Like from our side, it doesn't. We don't really care. So then we have the on ramp that goes to our bank account, and we do have a bank account. And then from that, we buy on the brokerage, and we store the assets on the brokerage.
Perfect.
And since we are fully compliant with Cayman Islands law, basically, you do have like. We don't actually hold the assets, the brokerage holds them, and you have the legal claim to that. But then once you come back to us and you redeem those assets, so you take the money back, we then sell them and we give money back to you. So we then sell them, this goes to our bank, and then we, again, like fiat or crypto on ramp, off ramp, like whatever you choose.
But you have on and off ramp.
Yeah, of course. We have to, I mean, if somebody gets into crypto, then of course we have to convert this to actual
To get him out as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have to go on actual dollars to actually buy these assets.
That's actually true. And when you're saying the secondary market, what is the minimum ticket for them?
There's no minimum ticket. Basically, everybody can trade there.
Anyone?
Well, you have to be KYC. We only
No,
allow
of course. I mean, any price.
Yeah. So anybody could do that as long as we know who you are, we know the transactions, and most important, since we know it, like if regulators come, they should also know it.
That's for sure. I mean, I always say Bitcoin was not created to support money laundering and hide your tax and all this bullshit. Bitcoin was created to remove the counterparty, to make the life easier for you, to make you the owner of your own money. It doesn't mean it came to make you a scammer, right? And that's why you're applying KYC and you're doing AML.
Yeah, and basically the assets that we are offering, we have to be fully compliant in the jurisdictions where those assets are registered. So this is why all of this is happening.
Today I want to ask you this. Now, let's again speak from the journey, from each element: treasury, stock, and bonds. Let's say I have, just take this journey. I have $20,000.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna enter each one of them. Let's speak about each one of them in a fast way. Like, how much is my return? How's the AI gonna play? Like a small.
Sure. I guess the easiest one would be treasuries.
Yeah.
So so let's say that you invest there. The treasuries that we invest in are 3 to 6 months treasuries. Right now, I haven't looked at the latest rate. I know that 10-year rate is 4.5%, but I think the shorter term is actually higher right now.
Of course, yeah.
Well, usually it's not.
I mean, it's a bull market now, so.
Yeah, but it's an inverted curve, which is not really standard. It usually, like, the short term should be
less and the longest should be higher.
Yeah. But right now, it's inverted curve, so that's not completely standard. But it is what it is right now. So you're gonna have more than 4.5% return. If you want to get like exact return, you can just look at what is the 3 or 6 months treasury today.
And the treasury is mixed of what?
Well, it's just U.S. Treasury.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 to 6 months expiration dates. So we have those, and then once they mature, we just reinvest, and it goes automatic. So whenever you redeem. So
and that's for the treasury. Now we go to the stock.
So the stocks, we're gonna actually have our AI-driven portfolio now.
AI-driven portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I would love to hear about this.
Yeah, so this actually is still in the development. So we are trying to develop it in the way to minimize risk and optimize return, which is standard thing that how you do this. We're not, at this moment, we don't have the estimated returns. Of course, we're going to have it before we launch the product. We are, of course, looking at the back testing and how it performs compared to historical, how it performed before that. But ultimately, like, stocks are stocks. Nobody knows how the price will develop. So, of course, it will come with some risk that's inherent to everything. And of course, we're going to be, we are planning to educate our user base with those risks quite well before we launch, actually. Yeah. Again, we're not launching it in the next month or two. So we have some time to really make like a more detailed explanation, research, and the returns. But yeah, it's going to be higher than treasury bonds for sure. It's considered like our more risky products. So the whole point is that you have higher return. We're considering that most of the stuff that we'll invest in will be the tech-based portfolios, although we are actually open to other sectors as well. So we are testing to also, because tech is like a sector that's
growing very fast.
Exactly.
And volatile like hell.
Exactly. So we do want to limit a little bit this volatility. We like the growth, don't get me wrong, but volatility can be at times a bit scary. Not that crypto investors are particularly scared of volatility.
I love it. I go, where is it? I just all in.
Yeah, but
Not a financial advice, but I'm joking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving the volatility. I guess it depends on the type of investors, but of course, we do want to limit the drawdowns, just because it's not a good look if you lose a big amount, even if you then rise fast. I mean, again, like it depends what kind of investors we're targeting. We do target a bit more risk-loving investors, but still, we're trying to limit the losses. So it's not only returns, we're also looking at what are the possible losses. If you would go only for returns, then
yeah, of course, then the game will start from there.
So yeah, but if we go with this, like we're gonna utilize AI, but on top of it, there are gonna be standard quantitative methods, for example, risk management, portfolio management, and stuff like that, where again, you don't want to hold the stocks that are all correlated with each other. You want to have some uncorrelated stocks in your portfolio as well.
100%, yes.
Or inversely correlated with the rest of them. So that will probably lower your return. That's just...
No, but I mean, you're basically risk management.
Of course, absolutely. Risk management has to be there. And in general, by the way, when we're talking about RWA, we are mostly starting to target the crypto investors and, first show them, like the most simple product would be treasuries. And we'll be like, well, you're trading cryptos, they're volatile as they are. Sometimes they go down, sometimes you have bear market. At that point, you can invest everything in stable coins and you can stake them, or you can actually go to the treasuries. I mean, first of all, you can think what is actually safer. Like there were like failures of even staking protocols and even stable coins. So it is a nice alternative to this, actually. You still get like a decent return for when everything is going down. But yeah, anyway, this is maybe a bit off topic because we're talking about stocks and anyway, but yeah, stocks, they're somewhat correlated to crypto, but not necessarily. It depends on the market time that we're in.
Yeah.
And you can actually get higher returns.
And the last part is the bonds.
So we are actually targeting the green bonds first. So the green bonds, they are the bonds in the green industry. So we also want to go to green. So why they exist is basically there is a big push in many governments around the world, especially in the West. And Europe is especially crazy about that, but also other countries, also other parts of the world. Where they're trying to finance the green investment. So if you're a company and you have like some kind of green investment, you can get loans at slightly better terms. Not that they're like super good because...
Can we explain for people what is green investment?
So green investment is something that would limit the impact of climate change. So for example, if you have a factory and you're trying to limit the exhausts or like CO2 emissions that you're making, and maybe you're like buying a new machine with this and it's like a big investment, so you don't really have money, but you do want to borrow, and then this machine is also going to bring you some profit. Obviously it's meant to improve your whole operation. So you can actually apply for the green loan, or if you're like in something that is like green, some green industry, and you're investing there, and you need a loan, then you can get a green loan, which is at slightly better terms. I'm not saying that the terms are perfect because there's still risk that you won't be able to pay.
But I think it's if you can correct me here, I think it's not that volatile. It grows by time and it dies by time. Or
well, it is somewhat. I mean, it's not as volatile as stocks, of course.
Of course, yeah. Or AI industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It has lower volatility, but I would say it's still higher than treasury bonds. Yeah. So it's that mid-range market.
Risk appetite.
Yeah. So not the safest, but not the most one. It also kind of depends on interest rates in general, because those are the risk bonds, actually. So if the interest rate goes down, then the price of those bonds goes up. So if you believe that interest rates will go down, which, right now we have quite high interest rates, they might go down. There are forecasts that they will go down anyway. It can be a nice growth potential because the bonds get more expensive as the interest rates go down.
100%. So now we explained the three of them. See, I always have a problem in these products that mainly the language, most of the people we have in Web3, they are not real institution mindset. They don't even know what is bonds. They can say, bonds, stock, but they don't know how to use it. They like Degen. That's why all meme tokens are the one getting everyone, because it's targeting the majority of your current industry today, whether you like it or not. That's a reality.
Yeah.
Are you considering to simplify this, to tell these Degens, guys, when you make a 20x from a project, you can just take a small part in a very simple way, because AI plays a role here. AI, the language of someone doesn't even want to understand anything. I just speak, hi, what you want to do, this or this, I just choose, what is your risk appetite from here to there? Okay, so I just want to chat and tell me deposit. You took this one, based on what you said, deposit, yalla, let me see you after 6 months.
Right. This is basically education.
Because here what I'm afraid of, when you're explaining it to them, they don't read. What is this? There is always going to be disclaimers. You're putting it with the AI chat, but they don't read it anyway.
I think it's also a pretty big problem. I think now it's going away because also the markets are sometimes going down. But they told me after 2009, we mainly had almost 10 years of just growth. So everybody was just investing and was more risk loving, and they got more and more returns. And I was thinking, but why would I invest in low risk assets? I mean, everything is just going up. And I get where they're coming from. I mean, the history is telling them that they're right. But, things don't always go just up. They can go down. And especially if you take too much risk.
No, stay in risk. If you love it, if you're Degen, do it. But what I always say, risk management, just go and diversify your portfolio.
Right.
You don't need to have everything. Like you're telling me, I'm going to stay all my life in crypto. But other people know they had some real estate, right, and crypto. Some people had some real estate and crypto, and maybe some few Web2 companies, restaurant for an example, even though the return is way lower than what crypto can do for you. But for him, it's safe. Wow. He can make money. It depends. He understands the industry or not. So for me, I always say bond, stock, treasury, and so on. It's a part of just, mixing your portfolio. No one saying go put 100%, right?
Right. I mean, I agree with that. I don't argue with this. Yeah. But I do know some people who just decide to have their retirement account in Bitcoin and crypto because,
that's type of people. That's why I say always, if we simplified, for an example, Bitcoin, people tried to get the people of Bitcoin, they couldn't. To take them out of the Bitcoin. So they made ordinals, right? The decentralized Bitcoin, and we know it's not scalable at the end. As much as you try to scale, even Litecoin, it couldn't perform till now. But I still believe that, again, don't put your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely.
And make it easier to people to tap in. It would be really, really good. And me, myself, I like Cogito because the main thing, they are professional before anything else.
Absolutely.
It means, as you just said now, we have a product and it will take us a couple of months to be out. While it's a bull market, usually this is not the answer you want to say. You're going to say, no, we're going to have something tomorrow, let's go. But for you don't care because you're here to build something you are sure it's trained very well by your LLM model. You got the entire historical data. You place it inside the engine. You train on top of that. You want to be sure you're doing the right thing. So here you're attracting the smart investors, not retards.
Right. And I would mention one thing about crypto. Crypto is very... it has bull and bear runs. So in bear runs, it's almost impossible for companies to set up. And there's just no liquidity. They don't get money. They cannot be funded. So all the companies are actually funded in bull runs usually, because it's very easy to get the capital. And because they're founded there, they are basically trying to really push the product really fast
True.
to catch the bull run, because this is the name of the game.
100%.
And this is why I think this is hurting the whole crypto industry quite a bit, because there are those cycles are not there to make like really slow and gradual investment in the product. And since the products are really quickly made, the industry has a hard time maturing the way it would be otherwise. And like a lot of good projects that just get demolished because they lose the funding in the bear market, and they don't have any users. I mean, it's really hard to get users as well. Like who's going to use your product in the bear market? Nobody knows about crypto then. Like everybody's like, oh, crypto, that's scary. I know a guy who lost money.
Yeah.
In the bull market, it's just the opposite. Right?
I do agree. At the end as well, that strong companies with strong foundation, I would still consider them. For an example, the last bear market, which was less than a year ago, when we had like a long time bear market, I had some bonds. The return was not really wow, but for me, rather than just keeping it in my wallet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were doing it in like stable coins, like USDT, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And in general, as you were saying before, like you do want to, in the end of the day, diversify your portfolio.
Exactly.
I mean, even if you go to other stuff, like we're offering bonds, stocks, and treasuries, like those are the most standard things. But you can also go, of course, as you mentioned, real estate. There's nothing wrong with that. You can, if you make your research, you can also go to the rare materials. I'm not against it. Like, it's not bad. It's always good to diversify. You never know what will hit you. And once the crisis comes, if you're just in one asset, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be hard. Yeah. Already seen that.
Yeah.
Many also said. So I want to ask you as well, do you have referral model or not?
In what way?
In the product. Let's say I told my friend to come and use Cogito and use a stock or whatever, because I want incentive for me. I want, even Web2 brokers, maybe, because you said you accept fiat.
Yeah.
So if a Web2 broker, I mean, why not? He's telling his friends to go, or his family offices or whatever he's working with, right? As long as they're gonna be kicking some kickback.
Right. It's a good question, because we were discussing this referral model like a while ago.
Yeah.
In general, we were for it, but then we were waiting for the legal opinion on that. And
I think it's legal.
Yes.
If you are KYC'd as a broker, if you are licensed as a financial advisor, then you're okay.
So
in Web3, I don't think you need to be financial advisor. Because you're just a broker. You just tell them you can check whether you join or not.
Right.
But Web2 is different.
So that's like a thin line that we were getting the legal opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this is right now. I believe that if somebody is interested, they should definitely contact us. But I'm not sure if we have the fully opened right now. Absolutely, we are working on that.
That would be amazing. I mean, that would be amazing, and hopefully it will happen, because that scale the business.
Right.
And not only scale the business, that support the industry to give a chance for quality projects, because the other ones, which is non-real, in my kind of opinion, they don't even have a legal opinion. They don't have any. The team may be anonymous, but they're doing this, so they're attracting everyone for referral, blah blah blah, and at the end everyone loses because there is no real business behind it. Some bunch of idiots who just made something based on a hype. Right.
And just to give you a feeling why we need legal opinion also besides that is like if somebody promotes us and is acting as a financial advisor, but they are not that, promoting the US equities like that, it's a thin line to walk on. It depends which jurisdiction.
You don't need to give them. I mean, the US always having this. You can just start in other parts in the world, right? And go gradually.
Absolutely.
And again, institutions,
But
if you have a financial advisor, let's say from the US, he can contact you right away so you can make a special program for him.
right, absolutely. But then you also have to be careful which jurisdiction you're in, because
100%, I agree.
jurisdictions have different laws.
100%.
So we have to, before we accept anything, we have to look at this jurisdiction. Can you do this? If we always have to check if it's still a financial product, and financial products, again, I'm reiterating myself, but they're subject to very tough regulation because people in the past have lost money on this, and we have to check everything.
No, I mean, I'm always saying stay compliant. Just try to find which one can open first with the regulatory structure without like letting it go. Now I want to ask you, let's go back to your life. What is your life, day-to-day life? Party every day?
Oh, that would be very exhausting. No, occasionally yes, but no, work takes actually quite a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I also, like I wake up, usually then first thing I do is check my calendar because, or usually I check it before I go to sleep for the next day because sometimes I have to wake up.
Yeah, you're not prepared, so you have to, like today, for an example.
Right, and this company is, and also our partners, they are all around the world. I'm in Europe, but we do have people in Asia and we do have people in USA, with which I communicate regularly.
So it means you're almost 24 hours basically.
It depends. I mean, I'm on the phone available almost most of the time when I'm awake.
Yeah.
So I still have to sleep. I still sleep 8 hours a day.
Oh, amazing.
I get a lot of sleep. Well, today not, but normally I do. And, like when there are like meetings scheduled, I have to, wake up earlier or like maybe even be there late. I'm trying to sleep at normal hours. But then once I wake up, I look at the schedule. Usually I work first few hours, then I go to the gym, then I work again. In the evening, then usually I try to take some time off to go on a walk or like on a drink with friends or something like that. And basically that's it. And work is just...
a part of your life.
Sure. But the part of the work that I'm working on is like I'm doing right now a bit of quant work, obviously, because I'm developing this product. But before I also did like lots of different kind of smaller work for Cogito because we were setting up a lot of things and I had to help in other departments as well.
That's amazing. Native. So we have today Cogito in Ethereum and BNB. So the native token on BNB. And congratulations because you now opened also staking pool in Ethereum with Singularity DAO.
Of course.
Right, so that's good to tap to more liquid users, let's say.
Yeah.
And now I want to ask you a question. What is Cogito? Why Cogito? Why would I join Cogito? There are so many bonds, there are so many things like that. Why Cogito? In a simple way.
Well, first of all, regulatory compliance, and we are trying to bring high standards, especially legal standards, to the industry. That's like one thing. Our products are, well, we offer return that is definitely competitive. And, well, I mean, I didn't even talk everything about the regulatory compliance, even though it's a big topic. And of course, we are utilizing AI, which I think in RWA is a big rarity, to be honest, right now.
And you're under Singularity Net anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have one of the biggest AI arms in Web3.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, we are trying to also do everything in our power that we can legally think of to really protect your funds.
That's really, really important.
That's why we actually...
And it's transparent. You also
Right.
shared this to the community.
Transparent, absolutely. But we are also not even holding this. This is basically held in a brokerage. So
the custody is not with you.
Yes.
Okay, you can give it to me, no problem.
Of course, everything is under contract.
Yeah.
It's not like we can just manage everything freely. But yeah, we do want to make it really safe for everyone, and of course also innovative, and that would be the main advantages.
Guys, this is Nejc, co-founder of Cogito. a project that it has to do with real world asset and AI under Singularity Net ecosystem. And the team is amazing. And the co-founder and founder, Clarice, is really a strong lady. And I'm always happy to find strong women in Web3 because where they are actually add big value in the space. Please be sure to check them, do your own research, read about them, see more. They're always available, because I tried to ask them a few times, they were always available. Thank you, Nejc, for coming.
Cool.
And hopefully to see the product live.
Absolutely.
And I'll try it myself with the AI. It's not just a room.
It's a room of Eljaboom.
Let's go!
I don't want your kitty, I'm just tryna play with Moon. We could hit the city, baby, what you tryna do? Catch me out in Quirksville, big shout out to Doom. I'm looking at the floor price, hey Brody, where the